All right, hey guys, it's Funk Roberts here. I'm on Skype, and today it's Funk Roberts from FunkMMA.com and FunkRobertsFitness.com. You know who I am. Anyways, today I'm excited to have Mansal Denton on a Skype call with us. He's the owner of Hyperion Supplements, and it's a company that does a lot of great things. And today, Mansal and I are going to talk about just about supplements and recovery and some really cool stuff, especially with something that I'm taking right now. But first of all, welcome, Mans. How's everything going, brother?
So good, dude. I'm so happy that I can sit around in my apartment and do this and have it be work.
Yeah.
So just having great conversations with you is badass.
Yeah, man, it's amazing, and I think everyone listening right now is gonna appreciate what we're gonna talk about. So let's just dive right in, man. Let's. One of the first things I get a lot of questions that people ask me about when it comes to supplements and what supplements they should take, and just what type of things that supplements can do for them. What do you think some of the things are wrong with the supplement industry right now?
So there's two main things, and one of them is proprietary blends. The supplement industry loves to create blends where essentially they put in a bunch of different ingredients
Yeah.
and they have a specific trademark on it so that the user can't tell what is actually in the product. And there's a lot, and this is really problematic for pre-workouts because there have been pre-workouts that have like methamphetamine related
Oh,
ingredients. Then there's pre-workouts that basically really help to improve motivation and stimulate people before they go to the gym.
right,
But it's really like 3 cups of coffee. It's just a ton of caffeine,
right.
and so for the end user, there's no real understanding of what's in the product
Yeah,
from a dosage perspective,
yeah,
and that can lead to like injury, that can lead to sickness and stuff like that. And then it's also just very deceiving and deceitful about what's actually working and what's not working. So proprietary blends is a huge problem. And then the other problem is what is called like fairy dusting or kitchen sinking, which is essentially putting a dozen different ingredients into a product and then claiming all the benefits of all those products without actually having the right dosage.
right,
So I'll give you an example. If you're taking creatine and you only get 1 gram of creatine, you're only getting 1/5 of the recommended dose.
right,
But a company might say you're going to get bigger and stronger because creatine does all these things, but
right.
you're not getting enough.
Ah,
And so that's one of the other real problems with the industry is that there's just a lot of this. They put things in there and then they use it to market to you.
yeah, and you know what, that totally makes sense, and why I'm well, first of all, it sucks for people who go out there looking for specific supplements that they've read and know that will work, but when you get the supplement, it's not exactly what you were what you were sold or what you were told is in it, and therefore it doesn't work. Like for me, especially with you mentioned creatine in the past, man. Yes, I've had some great gains with it, but then I've used some supplements that really weren't doing what I wanted them to do. So it's cool that you've enlightened us about that. So I have two kind of audiences. I have my combat athletes audience that are fighters and martial artists, and then I have my fitness guys who don't necessarily fight but want to get fit. Um, let's start with the fighter side. How can combat athletes use supplements? Like, how can they use that?
So combat athletes have, and I do jujitsu, so I know
Yeah.
that we have a lot of strain on the body, and that stress, it might be fun, it might be, just like a great experience to do combat sports, but at the end of the day, it's really impactful on the joints and the ligaments and the tendons, and of course the muscles as well.
Right.
So the number one thing that supplements can do for combat athletes
Yeah.
is help with recovery.
Right.
And anyone who is actually competing in a combat sport needs recovery even more, just because the body is literally taking a beating. There are
Yeah.
very few sports that can say that, but in combat sports, they really are taking a beating
For sure.
every single training session. So recovery has to be the number one priority for combat athletes.
I agree 100%. Especially it's one of the things that I talk about, not just recovery between training sessions, but also recovery from not overtraining, because a lot of time you're just, you've got your sessions, like your actual technique sessions, whether it's, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, Muay Thai, MMA, and then you've got your strength and conditioning training, and then you have everyday life and all those stresses that come with it. So combine all of that, your body's going under a lot of stress physically, mentally, and you want to be able to make sure that you have the recovery stuff in place. So again, you can recover quicker between training, but also between not overtraining. So that's cool. Now on the flip side, for a fitness person who just wants to be fit, how can supplements help?
That's going to really depend a lot, I think, on goals.
Sure.
So for some people, becoming the biggest, strongest version of themselves is really the goal. And there are certain supplements that can help with improving strength and muscle mass and stuff. But then also there's people that want to be super lean, and there's supplements that can help with that. I think the biggest thing to remember is to focus on supplements that have a very specific goal. So a lot of people, maybe some people in the strength and conditioning world, feel like they want an all-in-one supplement that's going to get them bigger, stronger, and do all the things for them. But the reality is, try and find a supplement that's like one or two ingredients, like maybe 3 or 4 max, and they have a very specific scientific purpose for being put together. And that's probably the best approach that I would recommend for someone with strength and conditioning.
Wow, and that's cool because you know what? It's funny. My following fans, they do a lot of metabolic, high intensity stuff. That's just what I feed them and what I believe in, because that was how I transformed my body into big, puffy, male PMS, puffy muscle syndrome, into being lean and ripped. But a lot of those workouts also cross over to the MMA, strength and conditioning world, combat fighters. So I think both, whether you're a fighter or whether you're not a fighter, supplements will help. And one supplement that is going to help, I think 100%, is creatine. And creatine is a supplement that I tell fighters especially, you got to be on it. I mean, if you can find the right creatine, because, and you're going to explain a little bit more about how effective creatine is for fighters. I know already because I've been using it for a while, then I stopped using it, and then I started using it again. But just talk to us about that, just creatine and effectiveness for fighters.
Yeah, so one of the things, and I noticed this especially because in jiu-jitsu there's a lot of joint, the opponent takes the leverage on my joints and on my ligaments, and oftentimes there's just a lot of strain there. And so, like I said, recovery is the number one priority, and for recovery, creatine is actually one of the best supplements that you can take. If you're eating enough protein, then the next best thing is probably to take creatine, because what creatine does essentially is it goes into every single cell, and it provides additional energy within the cell. And so when it comes to ligaments and tendons and joints that are injured from a lot of high stress combat sports, there needs to be additional energy in those cells for the recuperation, and that's where creatine has really helped me. I don't necessarily feel the need to get stronger or bigger. I just need to be able to recover quicker, and creatine's been the biggest benefit for that. And it's one of those things that because bodybuilders have used it for so long, the recovery aspect completely gets overlooked. And for combat athletes, but also people who are doing strength and conditioning, anyone who's into fitness, that just loves to go to the gym, they're going to be overworking themselves either way, and creatine can be such a great recovery tool.
Absolutely, and you hit it you hit the nail on the head there when you said, even just regular fitness people, like especially I'm all saying the people who follow me, because I give out a lot of high intensity training, a lot of metabolic training, which is high intensity. And if you're going to be doing it 3, 4, 5 times a week, recovery is really important, because you want to be able to get up the next day and go to work. You want to be able to live your life, and you also want the benefits of what the workouts are going to give you. And one of the things. Sorry, just before we go on, another question I want to ask you is, like, What do you think are some things that people don't know about creatine? Because yeah, a lot creatine studies show, research show, bar none, it's probably one of the best supplements out there, bar none. Like you can't refute it. There's so much out there that's been talked about it. But what are some facts that people don't know?
Yeah, just to go on your point about like how well studied it is, there's if people go on examine.com,
Yeah,
it's like one of the best supplement sites, very research based, and they have little editor's notes. And on the creatine section, you can, your readers can go and read it. It's like one of the editors says there is no reason for somebody to not be taking creatine.
totally,
Like there's
totally.
just so much evidence.
Yeah,
And one of the things that I've found is really beneficial is the component for the brain, because the like I said, creatine just provides extra energy for the cells, and if your brain cells have extra energy, that means your brain cells can do more work, and more
absolutely.
work for the brain means better memory. The duration of work is longer, so someone who wakes up really early and gets to work can keep working all day long,
Right.
whereas someone else might burn out. And so for the brain, it's really effective. And for combat athletes, especially the ones that are getting hit in the head a lot,
Yeah.
creatine is a very good neuroprotective agent. So a lot of older people that are struggling with like Alzheimer's or age-related neurological decline, they have taken creatine in studies and improved their memory
Wow,
and
that's
stopped
amazing.
the degeneration of their brain cells. But combat athletes, they're getting hit in the head a lot at
All
a
the
young
time.
age. They need that same benefit. So yeah, the effects of creatine on the brain are sometimes they're very subtle. They're not. It's not like you take some creatine and you're just gonna feel like it can do anything.
Yeah.
But it's a subtle benefit. It's like sometimes eating the right kinds of foods. It's kind of subtle, but it's an effective thing.
The cumulative effect is going to be key for that for sure. So for
Yeah.
me, creatine. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to tell you guys about is this awesome creatine product that I'm taking. In the past, I've taken creatine pretty much most of my life. I've been training since I was 20, and as soon as creatine came out, I was pretty much, on board. Started taking it, getting great gains. It was incredible, but after a while, I wasn't finding the right creatine product. I was always bloating. You'd have to drink a lot of water, and frankly, I was getting puffy and big, but I wasn't getting lean and muscular like I wanted to. I wanted to always be lean and muscular and have abs. But I stopped taking it, and then for years actually I stopped taking it. And then Mans contacted me and said, I've got this new creatine product. I've done a lot of research, a lot of study, put my heart and soul into it, and I want you to try it. And at first I was like, yeah, okay, and then no. It took them It took them some time to actually for me to actually jump on board. Persistence pays off. And I jumped on board and started taking Hyperion Enhanced Creatine Formula with fenugreek. This has been a game changer for me. And I haven't really I've been taking this for 4 or 5 months now, but I haven't said anything. It's only been the last couple of weeks, maybe a month, when I did that product review, that I really started to well, I mean, as soon as the first month was over, I knew that this is a game changer, on all levels, on my physique, on my recovery, on everything. And yeah, I mean, I love the product. It's incredible, and the fenugreek is key. But Mons, you're gonna talk about that quickly. What makes this better than anything else?
Yeah. So first of all, I love the fact that you're skeptical about this, and I
Yeah.
think your audience is going to too. And that's the same way I am. That's one of the reasons why I got into this industry, was because I wanted to create stuff for my sick grandfather, and I just didn't really trust most of the stuff that was out there.
Right.
So that's awesome, and thank you so much for repping it like that.
Dude.
You're like the number one case study for sure.
Dude, this
Um,
this is the self, man. It's incredible, incredible.
Yes. So they did some studies, and they showed that fenugreek, which is just an herb that I actually have used in Indian cooking for a long time,
Right.
it actually has the same response as sugar for shuttling the creatine into the muscle cells. Basically, with creatine, an insulin spike can help to shuttle the creatine into the cells,
Right.
and fenugreek does the same thing without all the sugar and carbohydrates and stuff.
Right.
So For people who don't necessarily want the sugar just because they're on a low carb or paleo style diet, it's really useful. For people who just really want to stay lean and they don't want to have these sugar spikes in their brain, because a lot of people, even if you're working at like a desk job and you don't really care about being lean, if you take creatine with a bunch of sugar, you're gonna have your energy spike and then it's gonna crash.
Totally.
And all this like weird mental stuff goes on with all the sugar too. So there's so many people that don't want to take sugar and carbs, and that's what prevents them from taking the creatine. But in reality, if you combine it with both the fenugreek and then taurine, which is an amino acid that can help to transport as well. Yeah. It's perfect for actually making the most out of the product, out of creatine, without having to take a bunch of sugar and stuff.
That makes sense. There's a couple things I want to talk about quickly. It's just the number one thing for me when you approached me was the fenugreek. Because I do intermittent fasting, so during the week I don't eat. The only carbs I eat are vegetables. That's it. So I don't want to be eating carbs, like starchy carbs, and I don't want to be eating sugar in order for me to maximize the creatine. Because a lot of people go, well, you don't really need to take the sugar because you can have it with water and it'll get into your bloodstream or your cells. But I say, if you're gonna buy a product and you're gonna use it, you want the maximum effect of that product. You don't want to just buy it, waste your money, and just kind of go, oh yeah, I'll just take it with water and wait for it to seep in. No, why would you even do that? Like, if you're gonna buy something, you want the maximum effect. So yes, taking it with orange juice or sugars or whatever, in the past would give you that maximum effect of getting it into cells quickly, but now you don't have to do that. You can use it with fenugreek and the taurine together using this Hyperion enhanced creatine to get it to the cells and not have all the other issues that you have when you use sugar. And that's key. And again, for me as well, my training has kicked up a notch right now because I'm training for Thailand. So before, I was, working on maybe 4 days a week, really short workouts. That's kind of what I was doing. But now, in the last month, it's 6 days a week. It's two a day sometimes. And it's crazy because I need to be prepared just to train in Thailand at a high intensity every day without bonking. And I still have 8 weeks, so I don't want to overtrain, but I also need to improve my entire game. So having this in my repertoire has been a game changer. Again, I said that before, but this stuff's incredible, man. Like, it's incredible.
You're incredible. I cannot imagine if I'm at your age and I'm training 6 times a week, sometimes twice a day.
Yeah, man.
Then, like, somebody do a study on me. That's ridiculous. You're doing something right, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And this is part of the doing something right here, man. This is part of guys. So anyway, the bottom line is, if you're looking for a creatine product or you're even using one right now and not getting the effects you want, my advice to you is to try this. Like, give it a try. You're gonna get 30% off if you. There's gonna be a link in this video or somewhere around this video. I'm going to have a link that you can go and try this out at 30% off the Hyperion Enhanced Creatine formula. But you know what? You've just heard us, but you can read a lot of information on there. There's testimonials, but I only put my name on specific things, man. Like we've had a little bit of a partnership with a sponsorship, and that's only because I reached out to Mans. I don't like to put my name on things that I don't. And I don't like to share things with you guys that I don't believe in, man. I believe in this 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Like, it's not even a question. And you're gonna get 30% off when you guys go to the page and purchase this. Read the information and try it. If you're a combat athlete, first of all, and you're not taking creatine, start taking creatine. If you're gonna take it, you might as well take this. And second of all, if you're a high intensity fitness person who's doing my workouts, start taking creatine. And if you are taking creatine right now and you're not getting the effects, start using this creatine here because it's awesome. Man, just put his life, work, and soul and lots of research. I mean, this is ridiculous. I shared this with another fitness pro.
And he emailed me yesterday.
Yeah, and he's like, as soon as I just said, you know what, this is what I'm using. Check this out, because he's asking me how am I able to train 6 days a week and train at a high intensity right now, because he's doing something else where he has to train at a high intensity. He's afraid that he wants not to overtrain. And I just said, well, this is what I'm doing, but this has been key. There's other, obviously other factors that we're putting in, recovery factors, but this is key. I sent him the link. 2 minutes, he gave me this big, massive, bold, legit, hook me up. And I guess he emailed you yesterday. So, guys, it's just a matter of time when that this comes out and blows the industry away. Yeah, guys, get on board, man. Get on board. So,
Dude,
yeah.
I appreciate it so much. Thanks for repping it, but also, like, the reality is I just want you, myself, and everybody to have a product that they actually like.
Yes.
So your audience, I mean, like you said, 30% off, but even better than that, like, you could try it for free. You have 30 days.
Right.
Our policy is like, you try it. If you don't like it, you don't think you're getting enough from it, we'll just give you all your money back. So
Totally.
there's absolutely no risk in trying it out and get some free product.
That's right. And when you buy it, you're going to hook them up with my Spartan 300 workout. Is that cool?
Yeah, free workouts.
So you're gonna get my Spartan 300 program. Those are high intensity training. So if you combine those workouts with this for 30 days, 100% you're gonna get, because I felt it in the first 30 days. After the first 30 days, and this is a 60 day thing, right?
Yes, it's 2 months worth.
2 months worth. After 30 days, I felt it. Like I was already sending him an email to hook me up with some more, because this is. I'm sold. Anyways, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Again, go to the link wherever the link is, wherever you're watching this. There's going to be a link. Click it and learn more. Yeah, exactly. Learn more. And that's it, man. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. And like I always say to you guys, train hard, fight easy, and get it done.
Get it done.
Thanks, man.